Something wild happened last month. A client, she paid me $12,000 after meeting me for literally 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And here's the thing that may sound crazy. She'd already interviewed 3 other designers. All of them had degrees, gorgeous portfolios, and they were all charging less than me, like significantly less. Want to know what I did differently? I mean, it wasn't my portfolio, it wasn't my credentials. I'm literally a self-taught designer. It was this one skill that honestly has nothing to do with actual design and everything to do with why I can charge $10K, $15K, even $20,000 per project. And nobody teaches this, not in design school, not in any course I've ever taken. Hi, Amelia here. And in this video, I'm going to reveal to you the #1 skill you need as an interior designer that has nothing to do with design. Everyone thinks being a successful designer is about having the best ideas, right? Or knowing all the trends, or creating those drop-dead gorgeous mood boards that get all the likes on Instagram. But that's not what reality taught me. You know what actually kills design businesses? I see this constantly. Super talented designers, like genuinely talented, who cannot, for the life of them, get their clients to actually make a decision. Oh my God, if you're this designer, tell me if this sounds familiar. You present 3 absolutely beautiful options. You spend hours on them. And the client goes, oh wow, these are all so great, but I need to think about it. 2 weeks later, they're still thinking. 3 months later, they've either hired someone else or just given up entirely and they're living with that beige wall that they hate. I used to think this is my fault. Like, maybe my designs weren't good enough. But no, that's not it at all. I was just focusing on the wrong skill. So here's what I figured out, and this changed everything for me. The #1 skill you need isn't design. It's not. It's what I call confidence transference. Stay with me here. It's basically the ability to make clients feel certain about decisions that absolutely terrify them. Because here's the truth that took me way too long to understand. Clients aren't hiring you for your ideas. I know, but they're not. They're hiring you for your certainty. They need someone who makes them feel safe about spending $10,000 on a sofa. They need someone who can look them in the eye and say, this is the right choice, and mean it. And they need to believe you when you say it. And the first step to make that happen is to understand what they actually fear. Okay, so let me break down what's actually happening in your client's brain. You'll see that once you understand this, everything will click. Every single client, and I mean every single one, has the exact same fear. They're thinking, what if I spend all this money and I hate it? But here's the thing. They're not questioning your taste. Not really. They're actually terrified of their own judgment. And you know why? Because they've been burned before. We all have. They bought that expensive chair that everyone said was amazing, and then they sat in it and they're like, why is this so uncomfortable? Or they painted their walls that trendy color. You know, the one that was everywhere 2 years ago, and now they feel completely trapped by it. My client, Jennifer, she spent $8,000 on a dining table that she saw in a magazine. And she literally cries every time she looks at it because it's too big for her space, but she couldn't afford to replace it. So when they're sitting across from you, looking at your beautiful mood boards, they're not seeing possibilities. They're seeing potential mistakes. They're seeing another $8,000 regret. Your designs could be perfect, like objectively perfect for their space, but if you can't transfer confidence to them, they will never pull the trigger. They'll stay stuck in that indecision forever. Or, and this is what really hurts, they'll hire someone else. Someone who might not be as talented as you, but makes them feel certain, who makes them feel safe. I lost so many clients before I figured this out. I'd be like, but my design was better. Yeah, but the other designer made them feel better about making a decision. Now, how do you do that? Well, before you can transfer any competence, you need to establish authority. And no, not through your degrees or certificates. I mean, I don't have any of those and I'm doing just fine. You establish it through demonstration. And you do this by presenting and talking in a different way. For example, here's something I would say in the first 5 minutes of any consultation. So before we dive into your project, I just want to let you know how I work, because it's probably different for other designers that you might have talked to. Most designers are going to show you pretty pictures and just hope that you like them. That's not how I work. Everything, and I mean everything, that I recommend to you, I can explain exactly why it's going to work specifically for you. Then I pause here, let that sink in for a second, and I continue. Not because it's trendy, not because I personally like it, but because it solves a specific problem in your actual life. Like, for example, you mentioned earlier that your kids are always doing the homework at the dining table. Okay, so that tells me that we need to design your dining room for your reality, not for a magazine shoot. That means that we're going with performance fabric that actually looks luxurious, but can handle red wine, homework markers, and whatever else life throws at it. See what I mean? Every decision has a reason. You're never going to wonder, why did she pick that? Because I'm going to tell you exactly why. In literally 30 seconds, I've shifted myself from decorator who picks pretty things to strategic expert who solves problems. And you can see it in their face. Their whole posture changes. They lean in, they relax a little. That's how you know you did a great job. Now, here's where it gets really tactical. The actual words you use matter so much more than you think. You have to transfer confidence through your language, and most designers are doing accidentally the opposite. Never, ever, ever say, I think this would look nice. Like, ban that phrase from your vocabulary. Instead, you need to use what I call certainty language. Most designers would say things like, I think navy might work here. Here's what you should say. Navy is the answer here, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's going to ground this space without making it feel dark. It hides literally everything with your kids, and I mean everything, and it's going to make your existing art absolutely pop. I've used this approach in 12 different homes with young kids, and I still get texts years later from clients saying it looks perfect. See the difference? You're not suggesting, you're stating. You're prescribing based on expertise. Another example, wrong way. What do you think about this sofa? Right way. This is your sofa. I found it specifically for you. It has those deep seats your husband needs for his back issues. It's got the performance fabric that can handle your 2 labs, and the style perfectly bridges your traditional architecture with the modern look you're going for. When you sit on it, you're going to know. You're going to feel it. Or with layouts, don't say, we could try this layout. Say, this is the layout that's going to completely transform how you live in this space. I've tested 7 different configurations. Yes, I actually mapped out 7. And this is the only one that gives you the flow you need for entertaining while keeping all the kids' toy chaos completely invisible from your entry. Your mother-in-law is never going to see a single Leto. I had a client last week literally laugh out loud when I said that last part because that was her exact worry. But see how specific that is. You're not suggesting, you're prescribing based on their actual life. And here's a little trick I use. I always include a number. I've done this 12 times. I tested 7 configurations. My last 9 clients with this exact problem, numbers make it real. They make it feel proven. Of course, do not say things that didn't happen. I trust you on this. Now, this is my secret weapon for getting immediate yeses, and it's a little bit strategic, you'll see. I make not deciding feel scarier than deciding. But I do it from a place of genuine care because honestly, not deciding is worse. Here's exactly how I frame it. Let's say the client's name is Sarah. Sarah, I know this feels like a really big decision. I get it. You're looking at these numbers and thinking, this is a lot of money. But here's what I've learned from doing this for 7 years, and I've seen this pattern over and over. The clients who trust the process, who move forward, they get to enjoy their dream homes now, today, this month. The ones who overthink it, I run into them 3 years later and they're still living with the exact same problems, except now everything costs 20% more and they've lost 3 years of actually enjoying their space. Then I make it personal. Your kids are, 8 and 10 now? These are the years that matter. These are the years they're going to remember. Do you want them remembering homework at the cluttered dining table you hate? Or do you want them remembering family dinners at the custom banquet that we designed, where your family actually wants to spend time together, where you're making those memories? I'm not pressuring, I'm providing perspectives. Because here's the truth, the cost of indecision is higher than the cost of decision, way higher. I had a client who waited 2 years to hire me, 2 years. And when she finally did, she said, I wish I'd done this back then. I spent 2 years being annoyed every single day by my living room. That's 730 days of frustration that she didn't need to have. And here's my closure that just removes all the fear, all of it. This is what I say, and again, I mean it. Sarah, listen, I'm so certain about these recommendations that I'm going to guarantee this. You're either going to love everything or I'll personally fix whatever you don't love at no extra charge. I've been doing this long enough to know when something's right, and this is right. I've actually never had to use that guarantee, not once, but there it is. That's how confident I am in what we've created together. And then I will usually add something like, I wouldn't put my reputation on the line if I wasn't absolutely certain this was going to transform your home. This isn't just a design plan. This is your design plan. This is the solution to all those things that have been driving you crazy for years. The key is you have to mean it. You can't fake this confidence, which means you actually have to be confident in your recommendations, which means you have to do the work, understand the client, and know your stuff. Okay, so here's the mindset shift that you really need to make, and this one's hard for a lot of people, especially women. We're taught to be accommodating, right? To be likable, to not be too much. Stop trying to be liked. I'm serious, stop it. Start being trusted instead. Clients don't need a friend, they have friends. They need a leader. They need someone who's going to tell them, this is what we're doing, and here's why it's going to be amazing. When you master confidence transference, you don't compete on price anymore. You don't compete on credentials or portfolios. You compete on certainty. And certainty is worth whatever you charge for it. I charge 3 times what I used to charge 2 years ago. Same me, but completely different energy, completely different confidence. And clients pay it happily because they're not really paying me for my time or even my ideas. They're paying me to not have to second guess themselves. They're paying to feel certain. They're paying to finally make a decision they feel good about. All right, so here's your homework, and I actually want you to do this today, like right after you watch this. Record yourself presenting a design. Just use your phone, present it to your camera like it's a client. Then watch it back and count how many times you say, I think, maybe, could, possibly, perhaps, or what do you think? I did this exercise when I was starting out, and I said, I think, 17 times in a 5-minute presentation. 17. No wonder clients weren't hiring me. I sounded like I didn't even believe in my own recommendations. Now, redo that same presentation using only certainty languages. No maybes, no I thinks, just this is what we're doing and here's why. Watch your close rate literally double, because clients aren't buying your designs. They're buying your confidence in those designs. And look, if you're sitting here thinking, but Amelia, I need to actually get clients before I can practice this confidence thing, I hear you. That was me, which is why I made a video where I literally walk through exactly how to land interior design clients, especially when you don't have a degree, don't have a portfolio, and don't have any of the things you think you need. Because here's the secret. Confidence transference works even when you're just starting out. Actually, especially when you're just starting out. So go and watch the video you'll see on your screen right now, and I'll show you exactly how to use this confidence thing to book design clients this month. Not next year, not when you're ready, this month. You already have everything you need. You just need to own it.